I just finished reading a horror novel that I don't think I've seen anyone else talk about on here. It was The Other by Thomas Tryon. When I first started this book, I was a little skeptical, but by the end, it was really entertaining and creepy. Also, the book was published in 1971, which puts it in the same category as like The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby, and it apparently sold 3 million copies in the first few years after it was released. So, where have I been? The story is about two 13-year-old identical twin brothers, Niles and Holland. Even though they're twins, they're totally opposite. Niles is always trying to please everyone and never does anything to get in trouble. Holland, on the other hand, is polar opposite. He's always looking for some kind of mischief to get into, and he loves to pull pranks on those around him. When the story starts, extended family members have come to spend the summer on the family's farm in rural Connecticut because they're all there to grieve and help take care of the farm after the father passed away in a tragic accident a few months prior. But as the weeks passed, Holland's pranks become more and more sinister, and the psychological tension between the two twins and the rest of the family eventually kind of bowls over. I don't want to go any further into the plot because I think you would be better off going in just knowing what you would get off the back cover. But I do want to point out that I think this book did a great job exploring the scarier sides of themes like grief, childhood trauma, and the relationships and connections that people can have with their close family members, especially when those family members are as close as an identical twin. Because I think that when you're that close to someone, you can rationalize and justify their behaviors for probably too long before you realize that things are getting out of hand. If I had anything negative to say, it would be that probably the first third of this book was a bit of a challenge for me. The structure of the chapters and the points of view that we swap back and forth between kind of confused me. And then I got about a third of the way through and I realized that that's the point. So I'll say that I do recommend reading this book, but if you pick it up, just give yourself a little bit of time to adjust to it and maybe be prepared for a few scenes that are just a little gruesome. It is a short book too, so I don't think it would take you that long to get through. And honestly, I think that this book holds up when you compare it to other books from that era, like maybe Psycho or The Exorcist. Somehow I just never knew about it until I saw this New York Review of Books copy on a shelf at Barnes & Noble a few months ago. I don't know. Okay, bye.